The McKinsey Global Institute predicts that by 2030, up to 800 million jobs could be lost to automation. Similarly, a study by the Oxford University estimates that up to 47% of jobs in the US are at risk of being automated in the next 2 decades. AI is transforming industries and changing the nature of work. Will AI replace human workers or will it create new jobs? To talk about this, I'm joined by Srinath Sridharan and my colleague Amit Ranjan in the studio. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus Show. I want to start by asking you, Amit, that's a good story that you did.
Thank you.
AI eating jobs, these are alarming numbers. 1 billion jobs almost by the end of the decade, 800 million.
It looks like because it is eating up jobs across industries. It's not just in the tech field.
Yes.
There's a report that we have put up in the show by a US firm Challenger Gray that in the year 2024, the jobs lost, tech jobs lost, were over 80,000.
Right.
Jobs created due to AI and related fields was only close to 30,000.
Right.
It's 1/3. Almost 1/3. So that is the difference. The industry comes back with this one-liner always that new jobs will be created.
Yes.
But what will happen is the interim period is likely to be painful because some people will have to upskill themselves.
Yes.
It doesn't happen on the click of a button.
You know, this is something that we discussed extensively, Amit. You remember when the IITs that stopped hiring, that there were tech layoffs as well, and this was the reason, right? And the fact that AI was that big unknown on the horizon. And Srinath, how long does this period usually take, this thing between an arrival of a new technology and the new hirings based on that technology? How long does that interim period usually take?
So in terms of the first initial set of adopters, you see them jumping in within the very first year of a technology being available.
Right.
Typically consulting firms are the first one to jump at it because it allows them to package what I call as packaging fear.
Right.
You go back to industry and say, hey, you're going to be out of business. Like for example, it's the 3D printing.
Right.
For last 10 years, consulting firms have been saying 3D printing will put the manufacturing units out of business. It does not.
Right.
It has not done a single job.
Right.
But if you look at, let's say, data from the Indian ITES industry, let's say Wipro, Infosys, TCS, Cognizant of the world, the last 2 quarters alone, I think there have been retrenchment of about 80,000 jobs.
Yes.
And but if you listen to their management commentary after quarterly results, they've been speaking about how they've been spending enormous amount of resources and reskilling people on AI.
Right.
I think that's clear message that they're pushing out whatever is non-AI. 2, I think in terms of adoption, the industry typically takes a 3 to 5 year cycle before they adopt because not everybody wants to jump in without understanding the risks and what could go wrong. Industries are also answerable. Most of the industries are answerable to some regulatory or the other of risk mitigation. And I think that's where the safeguard of not jumping into AI is given. I think 2 years ago during COVID, there was a huge rush. Everybody said media jobs are going to be outdated. AI will do everything. Where is it? I mean, it might do some parts, bits and parts here, but it is not going to replace human beings. And I think that's where we'll have to worry that don't get carried away by everything is going to be, it is not going to be everything as normal. It won't be. It will disrupt. And when it disrupts, I think that's where the biggest pain is. It's almost like, if I give an analogy of, let's say, cutting the skin with a knife.
Right.
At some point in time, you black out.
Right.
And that's the deepest layer of the skin. Very similarly is a job loss or a disruption of technology. The initial part, you see blood, you think something is happening. But when it comes to the deeper layer of the muscle and it cuts, that's when you lose consciousness if you don't have the enough sedative.
Right.
That's the challenge with AI. I think give it under the biggest pain point I would probably guesstimate is next 3 to 4 years from now.
Next to 3 to 4 years, Amit. And what are the sectors that are going to be really hit? What are the industries that are going to be really hit by AI? You've been researching this for the last couple of weeks.
You have Gaurav on the show and he'll tell you also. Hospitals, I'll give you one simple example. When an operation was done, a doctor has 2 hands.
Yes.
So there are 5 people who are giving him the sutures or the different knives and whatever, one after the other. A robot that is programmed on AI can have 10 hands.
Right.
So all those 10 people or all those 5 people are all gone.
Yes.
A simple cataract can be done by AI, does not require the thing with AI and automation is they are much more precise than a human hand.
Yes.
So that's the quantum of percentages of jobs that are going to be lost. I just gave the example of hospitals, but lower end jobs, data entry, AI is taking all of that. That is already happening.
Yes.
And India is going to be most affected, at least in that field, because we had a huge population that was getting employment in that layer of jobs.
Right. And Amit, the most amazing part is how swiftly it's entered our work lives. I mean, just the other day I was sitting and chatting with one of our colleagues, and one of our graphic artists, he was making something and the picture was incomplete, and within a few minutes, and I'd come back, the picture was complete. And I said, what did you do? I thought the picture was just cropped or something like that. How did you complete the picture? Oh, I said, this software comes now with an AI thing, and I just clicked on that and it completed the picture. So, it's how seamlessly it's integrated into our work lives here.
The speed with which things are changing is, computers came to India sometimes in the late 70s and 80s. Right. But the first time you heard the names of Google and Yahoo was early 2000s.
Yes.
Now things are changing by the month.
Right.
So the pace of change is that fast. So you really don't know how painful or how many jobs or what quantum of jobs you're looking at. But there will be replacements. But like Srinath also said, that time period is always painful.
Time period, as Srinath said, was 3 to 4 years. But Gaurav, what do you think are the sectors that are going to be most likely impacted by AI in terms of job losses? We're already seeing it around us. Name the top 5 sectors that will take the biggest hits.
Sector-wise, been looking at, if I have to pick, IT is definitely the one. Overall, IT is going to be first one, because we have already seen a lot getting automated really fast. Second will be and that's not if we can cut across anything related around marketing, right? Marketing and comm. There we are going to see a lot of impact. Third will be, if we look at certain parts of manufacturing, right? Certain areas of manufacturing, that's where it is. We already see the impact, especially around the monitoring, where it's involved with instrumentation. All of it. That's where we already see it. Fourth, I see, since we are working in pharma and life sciences extensively, we already see that a lot of the early stage discovery to medical information to commercial, a lot we are already seeing getting automated at a huge speed. And fifth, as I see, there is going to be a not an immediate, but very soon there is going to be impact around education.
Right. Absolutely. Top 5 sectors, they're hit by AI. Srinath, how can companies and individuals, how can organizations prepare for this impact of AI on jobs?
Let me be brutal first. I think we'll have to stop all the BS that we are training and retraining people. India Inc.'s expenditure on learning and development is one of the lowest in the world.
Yes.
We'll have to get real. The AI's ability is what I call as multiplicative impact.
Right.
It is able to do so many things and disrupt so many layers of human society.
Yes.
I mean, if you keep industries aside, manufacturing, services, agriculture, as we generally count as a GDP variable, there is a human angle to all of these. And if I were to add to Gaurav's list, I think the 3 largest services sector that will get impacted are financial services straight away. Retail, the way we think of retail. I mean, just imagine if you're going to have a combination of AI, drones, robot droids, IoT, and quantum computing.
Yes.
Probably you and I will order something on Amazon or Flipkart. It will get produced at a dark factory through 3D printing, which means you and I can actually order FMCG products on demand. And a drone could deliver it at the window that we are seated in. I mean, that will be the precise nature of technology in the next 10 to 12 years.
Absolutely.
So I think every sector is going to get impacted. The largest challenge that we have, the globe has, which India does not have, is this. The advantage we have is 2/3 of our Indians are digital native, less than 35 years of age. That's a big opportunity for us. We already are more keypad literate than formally literate as a country.
Absolutely.
So how do we engage this 80 crore youngsters in skilling them on technology and how do we make them benefit for livelihood? I'm a little concerned about what we call as the creator economy and the content economy, because AI can disrupt that very, very quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we'll have to go back and say, what is it actually impact on the ground? So if somebody is saying, as Amit said, let's say a nurse or a diagnostic technician.
Right.
How do we enable them to use AI or IoT to be efficient and better, to do more, rather than just simply replacing?
Yes.
For example, I saw a Fitbit kind of equipment to measure blood sugars and others more than I think 10 years ago in Silicon Valley. But the fact is, it is not still commercially available. You still need a human being to help you with an intervention, or you have to test it yourself.
Yes.
So while some of these technologies look as if it's going to put people out of business, it is not really so. And in a country like India, where the volumes are large, I think we also have to look at policies to say, any technology that comes into India, how do we gate it well?
Right, absolutely. And Srinath, I must add another sector to what you mentioned that's going to affect, that's going to be affected by AI, is the military. It's an area that I look at very closely. The fact that the Israelis have come out with this AI-generated program called Lavender, which basically crunches terabytes of information in seconds to produce targeting solutions for fighter jets and soldiers on the ground. And this is stuff that would take months for human beings to do. The machine does it in a fraction of an eye. But Amit, this point that Srinath made about preparing India for this AI-driven future, how do you do that with the 2/3 digital native population that we have?
2/3 digital native, the bigger problem is not the jobs right now. The bigger problems is the loss of skill.
Yes.
There are so many, like you mentioned, defense. If you have a robotic soldier,
yes,
a soldier who has gone through military school and done about 10 years of training,
yes,
all that is gone. He's not required.
Yes, absolutely.
So loss of skill. Theoretically, a film that takes about 120 people without any special effects to be shot and
yes,
made can be done by one person sitting at home.
Right.
Sora can do that.
Sora.
Sora can do that.
Yes.
Theoretically, it can be done, probably in the times to come. So the loss of skill.
Yes.
Film schools will have to change curriculums.
Right.
IITs, we spoke to the dean. There are curriculum modifications. You will have a new field of prompt engineers.
Yes. I was going to come to that. Prompt engineers.
So that is the bigger problem.
Tell us, for those of us who don't understand what prompt engineering is, tell us what the concept is.
Simply put, anybody should go to the website of Sora,
yes,
and see what they've done. And what they've done is, for every video they have created, they've put down what prompts they gave to create the video.
Right.
So a woman walking on the streets of a metropolitan city,
right,
a simple prompt has given lifelike image of a woman who looks like a real human being,
yes,
walking through the streets. 3 dogs diving into the snow and popping their heads out.
Yes.
You can't make out it's artificial.
Right.
It's that simple. These are simple ones, but to do more complex tasks, probably for scientists and all that, you will have a field of prompt engineers that real skills, that is a worry.
Right.
Probably the experts will have more to say on that.
What are so are prompt engineers going to take over the world, Gaurav?
See, all of this prompt engineering, as I see it, is sort of going to go away in just 2 years.
Right.
Wait for it.
Okay.
We won't need prompt engineering is a very, very short shelf life thing which has come up.
Right.
And it's just 2-3 years, because it's going to get ultra easy where we won't be needing it really. A lot is going to happen. We won't need that level of sophistication in the prompt in just 2 years.
Right. Just 2 years. Srinath, what's your take? 2 years or less? Or we're going to have neural links embedded and after that?
Yeah. The speed of change is so fast. So like what Gaurav is saying, you never know what happens.
Yeah, but
I'll wait for Srinath's answer on this.
Srinath?
Yeah, but I see, I'm a little techno geek there. If you add AI, if you add quantum computing and let's say layers of brain-computer interface,
yes,
the larger challenge is what will human beings do?
Right.
If we don't have to type, we think, and it is already, there's a worry, because then at that point in time, humans actually become dumb machines,
yes,
and the machines take over. So the worry about singularity is not about whether machines become more intelligent. Do humans become less intelligent or lazy? That's my worry.
Right. Do humans become less intelligent or lazy? And Amit, I have to tell you about this movie that I saw as a child, 40 years ago. You'd remember this, Firefox.
Yes.
What was the USP of that movie?
Clint Eastwood.
Playing a fighter pilot who's got a Neuralink helmet.
Yes.
And the weapons of the aircraft are thought controlled.
But of course, let me digress a bit. What I remember most, and I saw it as a child, was the gate closing and the plane just going through just before the gate closes and he just takes it away.
That's the physical world, and then the plane becomes a CGI thing
yeah.
after that. But yeah, it was revolutionary for its time. But Srinath, how long, coming back to this thing of the bloodbath that we're actually talking on, this AI eating jobs, you say about 3 years, 4 years time, and there's no retraining, you're saying, that no retraining happening, that thing is a big mirage, it's a myth that, according to you. The fact that companies claim that they are retraining people for AI, but they're not doing that. Could you elaborate on that point?
See, very simple, right? I mean, if you're in the ITS space, you get directly impacted on the AI because your clients are expecting AI solutions or with AI. So you're delivering or developing products for them. So you hear a lot of our IT brands speak about it. But in the ancillary and the user industries, the challenge, unfortunately, it seems to be, India, for example, Indian corporates spend less than 1.1% of the total turnover as their R&D budget.
Right.
Which is one of the lowest.
Lowest in the world, yes.
Yeah, lowest in the world. So if you really want to say that I want to save jobs or be future ready as an AI ready enterprise, you must be putting more money in R&D and within which you will also say I will train and retrain people. That's not happening. A lot of these, I think somewhere I would like to blame your sector, media as well. You host enough webinars and conferences where AI is a new hashtag.
Right.
I think the last year was hashtag sustainability, previous year was hashtag ESG.
Right.
So I think people are then speaking about AI, not really more people are spending time in thinking through.
Yes.
And here industry alone cannot do it. They have to bring in academic experts, technocrats, policy thinkers to say how will the future of society look like? How will the future of humanity look like? And I think that's where you have to start with what is AI going to change, because the previous the three industrial revolutions impacted society.
Right.
There were, of course, different products that came up and human beings adapted. But this one is disrupting with the speed of change that's happening on a daily basis. Like ChatGPT is today a household name, right? Even a child knows ChatGPT.
Yes.
That's an unfortunate scenario that we live in. So what is the incentive for the child to remember a poem or an essay or remember words?
Right.
If the child can simply go and talk to the ChatGPT, it picks up everything and gives an answer.
Right. But that's Srinath, that's what they said about computers as well, right? And when calculators came, they said people are going to stop calculating. Why are we learning, mathematics tables?
Little bit of that is true. I don't think anybody today learns how to read a log table.
Yeah, that's right.
A little bit of that is true.
So some of it is gone, but AI, the speed of change, I think that's the most important part. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a kind of technology that's, that's literally, evolving in front of our eyes. And here you have to commend President Vladimir Putin of all people. You remember what he said about 8 years back, when he said, whoever masters AI is going to rule the world.
I just hope what Gaurav is saying comes true, that this hoax of prompt engineering is going to last only 2 years and the real skills are going to stay for good.
The real skills will stay for good. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for speaking to us this evening. Srinath Sridharan, Gaurav Tripathi, and of course my friend Amit Ranjan, who's put together the story on AI eating jobs, the Pac-Man effect. I like that effect that you gave it, by the way, Amit. That Pac-Man, AI that's eating our jobs. It's a 2 to 3 year window that our experts just told us that we're looking at, where there are going to be job losses, there's going to be intense, what's the word for it? Intense vacillation in the industry as they look for how to upscale and upskill to prepare for the AI revolution.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.